Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, wonderful individual you. Today, I would like to speak about holding a certain bit of fairy qualities within life and at the same time hold oneself to a certain structure that is not too dogmatic or oppressive at the same time as holding a certain anticipatory presence, awaiting life to show what it has to offer in a sense. Being playful, but also serious to a certain extent. Being serious in one place, playfulness. That certain things in life should not be taken too seriously, other things in life should be taken seriously. So, maneuvering in all of this, of course, one has to set oneself a certain amount of foundations, and as I mentioned before, it's more close to oaths and loyalty towards certain qualities, ways of living, ways of being, and so on. Take Oberon, the fairy king, also often depicted as the consort or the counterpole to Titania, the fairy queen. He is very cheeky, playful, has that fairy quality to him, and can be impulsive, can be a little bit passionate, can also be a little bit manipulative and scheming, but never in malice. It never is in any kind of hurtful or damaging way. It always is in line with wishing good, bringing warmth, uplifting, and so on. The playfulness and a little bit of mischief in all of that. For, as we said, life got very dour and sour and dire once we started to take certain things a little bit too seriously. Things that, if we focus too long on it with a certain attitude, we will only get tired and drained from it. By holding oneself to loyalty to the playful at the same time as we are aware of everything that is of serious natures in life, you see that you have both the structure and the creativity, the quote-unquote chaos, the anticipatory, the unfolding of the present moment. So being a little passionate, being a little bit emotional about certain topics and such, without letting it go to a certain burning of that specific topic or observation by immense passions and fire, and not to become indifferent to it, letting our inner spark die. It really has that in between, the mediator of the mystery and the known, in a sense. It's that threshold, the other world, more or less, the spiritual realms. You are on the threshold of that. So to be fairy-like is really about certain, as it called in both German and in Norwegian, for example, gemytt. It's a certain attitude, a certain underlying tone, color, and feeling of a personality, in a sense. I think it is in more languages than just those two, but it is a Germanic uh, originating word. But it still has that flavor to it. So the curiosity, wonder, awe, and such are fully part of these childlike and also fairy-like feelings. It really is about when you become an adult. If you believe becoming dry, too serious, and not being able to have fun anymore as adult, I think we need to reconsider what we might think an adult really is. For an adult is both having the capability of being childlike and also staying to a certain seriousness. It really is about the underlying feeling here than the direct words and description I'm trying to convey. For spiritual truths are very metamorphic, very many angles, can explain from many different perspectives, but at the same time being able to just take them in all and see all and focus in on a variety of them should it be necessary based on what is asked of us. And that is why almost every perspective is a relevant and an important one, but we should also be capable of zooming out a little and zooming in on another perspective should it be necessary, as to see the whole picture. Like observing a tree from 4 different angles, same tree, but it looks different from these 4 different angles. So if we take mathematics, mathematics is valid in the measurement and in the area where mathematics can be used relevantly, in relevance. And same with rationality, same with ideologically, seeing things from an ideal perspective, seeing things from a real, direct perspective. There is seeing things from the phenomena, for example. There is such a variety of ways to truly be capable of seeing things as a full human being, and it requires practice. It requires us to long to be able to do this instead of closing oneself up to very, very biased opinions. It is allowed to have biased opinions, nothing wrong with it, but also have to be aware that it might not be as objective as we can come towards. The more and more individuals and different perspectives and different angles we can see things from, and at the same time holding this observation in a certain, well, we will have to take ourselves into consideration. So subjective in the objective. You are a subject, I am a subject, he is a subject, she is a subject, but we all live in objectivity. We are part of this objectivity. It's important to note this. So the more we come to the understanding of this, the more we allow for many varieties of things coming out, and we become less judgmental in many ways. And that is also judgment without truly having appreciated the many varieties of angles is just strangling the life out of something. You collapse it to a one-sided bias. So I am pretty sure I managed to convey to you what I try to come to a certain feeling about, archetype about, when it comes to the fairy king, Oberon, and Titania, the more dreamlike, feminine beauty, where Titania is all about the etheric life force and about the growth and the beauty and the artistic, the imaginary, the dreamlike. Oberon is the outlines of this, so he would be the holder, just as an example, the holder of structural shape of the beauty, allowing the beauty to hold its shape without becoming chaotic. You see where I'm going here? So they need each other if they are to truly bring out the beauty. And that is what the balancing out of our more feminine and more masculine sides comes in. Our soul is feminine. That is, our soul has, mother is what our souls have been called for God knows how long. And the will, the structural and such, that has been the masculine. But we are both. The feeling, the depth, the warmth, the love that comes from our soul, feminine. The structure, the strength of character, you see, is the masculine. But we are both. We are not either or. It's important to hold that as a reality. And if we have our preferences and biases, it's what it is. We incline more towards the feminine or masculine in certain senses. But the more we become aware of being both, the more we balance them out, making them lovers, making them consorts, in a sense. So if you lean more towards, just to use the right brain, left brain simplicity and reductionism of it. If you are more inclined to the left brain, taking into consideration that our right brain also are part of our perception, not excluding it and making it our enemy. And at the same time, if you are leaning the other way around, if you are more imaginative, more artistic, to know the value of the structure and the order that comes from the other way around too. So, yeah, that is what I will leave you with today. Thank you so much for listening to me. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, ancient masters of old, ancestor from every incarnation, bless, protect, guide, and love you on your amazing path. And may you be provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, being creative, inspirational, and healing to the rest of the world so others can follow when the time is right and the courage is at most high. See you. Thank you so much. See you. Love you, my dear sibling. Goodbye.